This tip is going to talk about creating tables in OneNote. So one of the shortfalls with OneNote is the ability to create or edit tables in OneNote. If you're working in something like Word, you've got all these features here to merge cells, split cells, and so on, which you don't, and distribute evenly. You don't have those functions in OneNote. So one of the things I like to do if I'm going to insert a table and I want the cells to be evenly distributed, I come up and I go View, and I put a grid line in the background. So then I can easily line up my table to the grid line and drag my cells across to be the size that I want them to be. Now, if you want to leave the grids there, I change the colour of the cells to make them white. So you can add the colours like this, table, and I can make them white so that way you can't see the grid line, but I pretty much always just remove the grid lines once I've used them, but that helps me distribute them evenly. Now, one of the shortfalls, again, is you can't merge those cells. So what I usually do is just insert another table. If I've got like a heading row, just a one cell table, and then I can just drag it to fit to be the same size as the others, and that can be my heading table that I have there. And I might make it a different color just so you can see it's a heading, and you can play around with that. The other thing that I have discovered is you can copy tables from other things. So if I've got a table like this where I've got, three cells, three columns, one column, and then three columns again, you have to copy each part separately. So I'll pop this bit in first, Control V, and then I'm going to go back and grab the next bit, which might be these two. Control C, I can do those together because they're the same structure. Control V. And I would just need to drag them out, and then I'll come and get the last bit, which are the same, Control C. So you just have to break it up and do it in the different parts that you've got there. And just while I'm working in there as well, and this is where I'd use the grids to distribute that properly if I needed to, and just muck around with that. You might need to make this bigger if it doesn't fit in properly. Another thing I've discovered, if I now want to break that and add a single one in between that, if I hit the backspace there, it gives me that gap there, so then I can add a single row in that. If I then have, I want to do a return. Okay, let's say I have split that, so I'm just going to do that backspace again, like that. If I want to remove that, I just hit the delete and it puts it back together again. So a bit of a trick there. One of the great things about the new units the department's putting out is that the cells, they don't have merged cells, so it's very easy just to copy, Control C, and paste it straight in, and it keeps it. I tend to do any formatting, so that's just merged the formatting to what I have as my default. You could bring it across just as the text that looks as it appears in the unit with the formatting there as well, if you prefer that. So keep an eye out for that; it'll pop up there. And yeah, you can download whole templates and tables and pop them in. Oops, I didn't mean to do that. Control Z, Control C. Back into OneNote, I'll put a little space there, Control V. It's changed it to my formatting. Let me just, if I wanted to keep the formatting from the unit, I do it like that, and it looks like the department unit that I've pasted in there. So just some little tips to work around some of the shortfalls that we have within OneNote. I know it's something they've been talking about fixing for a long time or improving, so keep putting feedback through, and hopefully they'll bring it up to speed with the other Office products.